Phil Lock.
Action's going to be on J.J. Lou, our chip leader.
She throws away 9-6 very quickly. Unabomber throws away his 10-4.
Round to Doyle Brunson. Very aggressive player. Looks down at Queen 7 of hearts, but he's reaching for chips. And yes, he's going to raise it. Makes it $175,000 to go.
The old cowboy seeing an opportunity. And now it's on Daryl Dickin. He lays down his king deuce.
Round to Patrick Antonius in the small blind. And look at this, Vince. He's picked up 2 aces in the small blind.
Got the mother of all poker hands, pair of aces. Now, how do you play it?
Well, he may be up against the godfather of poker. Right now, he has the godfather of all hands, the 2 aces.
You want to lasso the cowboy the best that you can. Do you raise now, or do you play it slow? The young man from Helsinki plays nice and patient, doesn't rush into things.
And he just calls, Vince. He's not re-raising with 2 aces here.
Renee quickly going out, so two-way action. Will this play backfire?
Well, we shall see. Doyle with the Queen 7 of hearts. Patrick with the 2 aces. Here comes the flop. The flop is Jack 10-3. No help to either player. And action on Patrick. He quickly checks the 2 aces.
Oh, he is digging the hole, putting the twigs over it, waiting for the sucker to fall in. Will it be Doyle?
Doyle's a very aggressive player. Normally, he raises before the flop. He's going to bet on the flop, especially if his opponent checks to him. And that's what's happening here, Vince. He's betting $400,000.
Oh, and there goes the snap over the top, all in. Now he doesn't want to take any chances, and of course Doyle didn't hit anything on that flop. So Doyle Brunson, the cowboy, gets his foot caught up in the stirrup, gets dragged there a little bit.
Well, Vince, you have to give Patrick credit for gambling there, slow playing 2 aces before the flop. It earned him an extra $400,000 by doing so. Doyle has told me that Patrick has played him very tough for the last day or two. He really admires how aggressive this kid is. This guy has some game. Keep your eye on him.
All right, back down on the table on Phil Lock. Under the hood, he looks down to the King 8 of diamonds. He's going to toss it. Doyle going out.
Around to Daryl Dickin. Now, Daryl's picked up the speed limit. He's got 2 5s, and he makes it $150,000 to go with.
Right into the fin.
Let's take a look at the hole cam, brought to you by PartyPoker.net.
Look at this. He's got another good hand, a pair of 10s wired up.
Well, he's in position. He has a good hand. Let's see how he's going to play it.
Now, the guy right before you raises. Now, you go over the top with this, or maybe not. Daryl, kind of conservative player. You get fancy with it.
Now, Daryl, 28-year-old poker pro, has been living at Bellagio for quite a while, playing in the poker room here on a regular basis. I call this his home court.
And Patrick just going to call it.
Just calling with these big hands here.
Renee out with ace-9, as is J.J. Lou, so two-way action, 2 wired pairs.
Daryl's got the 2 5s. Patrick with the 2 10s. The flop comes 8-6-3.
Daryl Dickin with his pair of 5s. Raised before the flop, and look at this. He looks like he's getting more chips out here.
Well, he's hoping his opponent has something like King Queen here, and a bet will take this pot down.
And he's going to make a bet of $225,000. We know Patrick has a nice overpair, pair of 10s.
This is a good flop for you when you're holding 2 10s. 3 undercards, as we say. And again, he's going all in, Vince.
And Daryl, just like that, says, I'm out. You got me.
So for the second time in a row, he slow played a good hand before the flop, and then moved all in on the flop when his opponent bet. And Patrick picks up yet another pot.
I think I'm a bit crazy. Like, I don't care that much. I don't fear at all. I don't fear anyone.
Well, he's certainly on the right move. He's picked up well over $1 million so far at this final table.
Back on Patrick, he folds his hand. Renee out. JJ with 9-4, can't play it.
And to Phil Lock on the button. He looks down at ace-9 offsuit. It's a hand that would be favored against 2 blind hands. He's going to raise it. Makes it $125,000 to go.
Doyle Brunson, next to the line, throws away his Queen 7.
Now Daryl Dickin, kid from Iowa. He's got the suited connector, the 9-8 of spade. He makes the call.
So the Unabomber getting some action. Here comes the flop, and he picks off an ace there.
Daryl checks.
And Phil is going to play this slow. He checks his pair of aces.
Wow.
He's going to slow play it.
Now the 7 of spade comes off. Look at this card. It gives Daryl an open-end straight draw and a flush draw, and he checks.
Big drawing hand, but now Phil's going to bet his aces, finally.
And he bets 150,000.
Is it even legal to bet that now? It's awfully small, isn't it?
Well, Daryl says that's a pretty small bet. Over 300,000 in the pot.
I go,
Oh, and how he's going to call it. It doesn't go over the top. A lot of players might have taken a shot and raised with that. No, here comes the river.
Well, the king of hearts comes off. Now, the only way Daryl can win this pot is to bet at it, but he checks. By checking, he just essentially surrenders.
The old king of hearts trick on the river.
Phil is so relieved. And look at this. He's going to go into the soccer game saying that he hit a pair of kings.
I'm either beating you or you're beating me, right? At this juncture.
You got to write this stuff down, folks.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Words of wisdom by Phil Lock.
That's a real gem there, isn't it, man?
If I knew which side of the coin I was on, my decision would be really easy. I just check, I guess.
He's going to check it, though.
Well, he's just going to check it. He's going to win the pot with 2 aces.
I love it. No, trying to crowbar me into nothingness. I love it.
Well, there you go. He's happy. He's picked up his first pot here tonight. Look at that.
He's getting up. He's getting the back rub.
Now, if you just lost a pot, you like a guy rubbing you all over like that,
And
man.
he's touching cards. The Unabomber taking it to gigabet. You gotta love it. Now, Mike, we know that everyone in poker these days, you almost have to have a nickname. You know, it's part of the game. When you go way back to the days of Amarillo Slim, Puggy Pearson, Sailor Roberts, and tonight we have some good ones here. We have the Unabomber, we have Gigabet, and of course, the legend himself, Doyle Brunson, Texas Dolly.
Well, those are all good ones, Vince. But I still say my favorite nickname in the poker world today is Alan Kessler's, a.k.a. the Chainsaw. Now, Alan is sort of a dirty-looking guy, plays real tight. The Chainsaw, beautiful nickname.
It is. There you have it from the ambassador of poker, Mike Sexton. Mine, I'm going with the Devilfish. All right, there's more from WPT's The Greatest Tales from the Felt when the 5-Diamond World Poker Classic returns.
WPT Greatest Tales from the Film is brought to you by ClubWPT.com.
Bobby Baldwin is a world champion poker player. This one is named after him for all of his friends to come in and play Highlander poker. Doyle Brunson, Gus Hansen, Jennifer Harmon, Phil Ivey.
Bobby's room is the best poker room in the world, especially for the Highlander player because we have our privacy. It's like a little fraternity in there.
There's no place to play like here. Bobby's room was the best things that Bellagio did for us.
Welcome back to WPT's Greatest Tales from the Field, where we're looking at legendary final tables. Tonight, we're watching the Season 4 5-Diamond World Poker Classic from Bellagio in Las Vegas.
And this table has featured an all-star cast of poker pros and one amateur who got in on a $100 online satellite, all vying for a $2 million first-place prize.
Let's get back to the game, where nobody's been knocked out yet, and the play's been actually pretty tight. We're at the Fontana Lounge at Bellagio for the 5-Diamond World Poker Classic, and Vince, it could turn out to be just that, a classic.
The winner's going to take home over $2 million. We are having fun in the Fontana Lounge. Thanks to the man that cackles the loudest, Mr. Phil Lock over there.
Well, action's going to be on Phil Lock here.
He's got a 5 deuce this time. He's gone out. Doyle quickly folding
The frustration on Doyle's face, not catching any cards.
to Daryl Dickin, who has ace-jack.
there it is.
He says he's going to raise with his ace-jack.
Now makes it 150,000 to go.
The Finn quickly folds his hand.
Renee gets out of the way, around to JJ, and she looks down at a nice hand. King, Queen of Diamonds in the big blind.
The nice suited king-queen.
But she's going to make the call. So these are the two chip leaders going at it here. King, Queen for JJ, Ace-Jack for Daryl, and the flop comes 7-5 deuce with 2 spades. No help for either player.
First one to act is JJ. She's going to boldly bet this.
That's 200,000.
AJ. And ace queen.
To Daryl Dickin.
Well, he's asking her questions.
You need ace queen. Should I call anyway?
Yeah, she should call anyway, Daryl. But when you ask those kind of questions, we know you're not. He lays it down, and JJ picks up the pot.
We've got a thief in the midst here. JJ Lou, so impressive. She just vandalized Daryl Dickens.
JJ Lou is the sixth woman to make a WPT final table, but she hopes to be the first to win one. Being the only woman at the table, JJ knows she has to play more than just her cards.
I think it's some kind of advantage for women to play poker because most of men they think a woman can play.
JJ is an enigma, I think. She don't seem to have a lot of knowledge about the game.
Yeah, I have never played poker before.
I think she's not capable to steal the pots like other people on this table.
Not only does JJ plan on beating the boys, she plans on having fun doing it.
Yeah, I always have fun. You just have to be happy. Don't worry. Be happy.
A very lovely JJ Lou. What a player. Very stylish here this evening. Taking all the money down.
Could be the first woman in the history of the World Poker Tour to capture a title.
Action's gonna be on JJ. She quickly goes out. Now Phil Locke with 9-7 offsuit.
And the former WPT champion folds.
Doyle is out. Daryl Dicken with the button. He's got a 7-4 spades. It's not going to deter him, it looks like.
I'm not gonna let the last thing happen again.
He's on the button, in position, as we say. He's going to raise it. Makes it 150,000 to go.
Right behind him in the small blind, the man from Finland, Daryl's old nemesis, Patrick Antonius, has a jack-8 of spades, and he's contemplating this.
It's going to cost him another 125,000 to call. Perhaps he's thinking about coming over the top. Nope, he does make the call.
Renee quickly folding. What else is new? So two-way action. Here's the flop.
Flop comes Jack 10-10. Patrick has flopped the top pair. He's got the two jacks and now has the best hand.
He is going to check it. He's going to trap a little bit. Looks like the hand over his mouth, like he's almost whispering to his friend Daryl. I don't know what that's about.
That is his style. Patrick always does play with his hand up on his face in the thinker pose or some kind of pose like this. Meantime, Daryl's bet 250,000 on a 7 high.
Absolute garbage here.
This guy from Iowa is not afraid to put the corn in the pot.
Now Patrick will hit his pair of jacks. He's got jacks and tens. Continuing his whispering pose. Now he checked it to trap him. He's got his man from Iowa sitting pretty there.
He's going to make the call. So he calls $250,000.
Yeah, he makes an okie dokie. I guess I'll play call.
Daryl just took a big swallow right there. He didn't like that.
Boy, it is just a horror show when you're trying to bluff and someone makes a call.
What do you got?
So off we go to the turn. Well, a 10 comes on the turn. This gives Patrick a full house, 10's full of jacks, and he checks again.
Oh, this guy's a male model, but he should be an actor because this is a performance to watch.
And Daryl's going to hang himself, it looks like. He's betting 350,000.
Now you got to give him bonus points for this. He has nerve.
Well, Vince, what he's hoping was that his opponent had some type of straight draw or a flush draw, and that will get out when the third 10 comes on the board. Unfortunately for him, his opponent has a jack in his hand, meaning he's got a full house.
Well, he's got absolute caca here. Daryl Dicken betting away anyway.
Now, how does Patrick want to play this full house now? There are a couple hands that could beat him. 4-10 would beat him. Or if his opponent had aces, kings, queens, or jacks in his hand. But still, you're never going to get away from this hand, this spot. Again, he just calls. He does not raise with the full house.
The horror of Daryl Dicken.
There's no card he can catch to escape this pot other than a 4-10, where they'd get a tie.
Believe me, he's feeling dead inside.
The ace of diamonds comes off. This is not really the kind of card that Patrick wants to see come up at the river, because if his opponent had an ace now, he would be beat. Now Patrick is checked and called all the way down. You may be wondering, if my opponent has a jack, maybe if I bet here, I can take this pot away. He's leading out and betting into this pot.
I bet $600,000.
Certainly if his opponent had an ace, he knows he's going to get called here. Well, Darrell lays his hand down.
That's a complete disaster for Daryl Dickett. Can't say didn't get credit for trying. Former male model Patrick Antonio's shoving Daryl Dickens off the catwalk with that last play, Mike.
So during that last hand, you saw Patrick make a unique bet on the river when an ace came out. You also saw Darrell raise pre-flop. Darrell never went all in and continued to take baby steps at the pot, never fully committed to it. This is an example of newer school poker play that is a more aggressive yet cautious than what many old-timers used to make.
That's right. Okay, stick around. There's more from Las Vegas when WPT's Greatest Tales from the Felt continues. WPT Greatest Tales from the Felt, brought to you by ClubWPT.com.
Nobody has been eliminated yet from play, and one thing about a no-limit tournament is one false move and you're out. Vince, I've got a hunch that somebody is about to go home. Currently, our chip leader is still J.J. Lou, the lady at the table. She's got about 4.8 million in chips. But in second place now is the young phenom from Finland, Patrick Antonius. He started this final table in last chip position. He is now in second place.
Okay, and the antes are going up to 10,000, blinds being 40 and 80. And it's on our friend from Iowa, Daryl Dickens, who quickly folds his hand.
And look at this. Patrick has picked up two aces again, Vince. What a card rack this guy is here.
Oh, he has picked up the Moby Dick. Two aces.
No wonder he's moving up on the ladder. Now look how methodical and slow and unexcited he seems right now.
Well, you know he is yodeling underneath. You get the aces. It's just a beautiful thing.
Well, he's going to bet 200,000. Not a big raise.
Renee out. Chip leader JJ going out.
Round to Phil Lock in the small blind. He peeks down at King 3 offsuit.
The hooded man caps his cards. Yeah.
Because of the WPT hole cam brought to you by partypoker.net, we can see that this would not be the time for the Unabomber to make a move at a pot.
Does he want to stick around here?
Better be real careful right here. Oh, no. Phil is doing it. He's going all in right here.
He's trying to make a play.
Well, Doyle gives sort of a grin because he had King 10 of clubs. Probably like to see a flop.
I call.
Oh, of course you're going to call. They got the monster hit.
Phil Lock is not going to like this.
Oh, boy.
It's two aces for Patrick at King 3 offsuit for Phil Lock. And right now,
You got a king?
the Flying Finn about a 90% favorite to win this pot.
This time.
Phil has just stepped in it.
It's going to be a long while before I get to another final table.
Well, he stepped in it without his shoes on. He's putting them back on now, Vince. He thinks he's heading back out of here in a spaceship. Chances are that's what's going to happen. Well, not yet. Flop comes King Jack 10, so he flopped a pair of kings.
Yes, he has. If anyone can get lucky, this man can.
Well, this would be a huge outdraw. Patrick is learning it's never easy, even when you've got two aces. He's got to dodge a king or a 3.
Phil Lock in very grave condition at this point. He needs some luck. Here comes the turn card.
Oh, it's an ace.
Oh,
Patrick has made 3 aces. He can't lose the pot, but if a queen comes off, it would be a split pot. They would both have an ace-high straight.
Phil is wheezing the death rattle.
Leave you out of hand.
The Unabomber needs some luck. Otherwise, it is back to the lean-to.
He's got to catch a queen. Doesn't happen. That's going to do it for Phil Lock. Always entertaining, but no Vince, you just have to say he made his move at the wrong time here. No doubt about that.
Well, he is always a great person to watch. The kooky, the eccentric, the charismatic Phil Lock has to say goodbye. Our 6th place finisher. He's going to pick up $160,000 as he walks away.
Well, a monster pot right there for Patrick Antonius. He is now our chip leader with nearly $6 million in chips.
That is a perfect example of what happens when you make a move against a guy with aces or kings. They will call, and 80 to 90% of the time they will crush you, and that is what happened. Sure, yeah, 2 million, 1 million would have been sweet, but 160,000 is sweet too. I'm looking forward to having another shot, and for the next time I make a move like that, from not to have aces or kings.
Down to 5 players. battling for this huge prize pool, one of the biggest in poker history, by the way. Winner's going to take home over $2 million.
And I don't think we've ever had a guy come into the final table on the short stack, take a title. Patrick Antonius now is the chip leader at this final table.
Action is going to be on our man Patrick. This time, he has Queen 5. He's going to fold it. Renee going out. Former chip leader J.J. Lew goes out.
Well, here goes Doyle. He's getting all his money in there. He's got Big Slick.
I didn't see that coming.
$815,000. Now Daryl Dickens got Ace Jack.
I call.
And he's calling.
Yes, he does.
Well, Doyle's going to love this. He's got Ace King. His opponent's got Ace Jack. Well, Doyle breaks into a grin. He knows he's a 70% favorite to win this pot.
Well, Doyle has been very patient so far tonight. Finally picks up a hand, and he's a nice size favorite.
Over 1.6 million in this pot. The crowd holding their breath because they don't want Doyle to go anywhere. We could have back-to-back WPT champions hit the door if Doyle was eliminated here.
That is a scary flop.
Well, it's come 10-9-7. This gives Darryl a straight draw, meaning Darryl can win this pot if an 8 comes up or take the lead if a jack comes up.
Well, Daryl Dickens from Iowa could be the spoiler here. He could knock out the legend. On one card, here it comes. No, not this time.
Well, a 5 comes on the turn. So going into the river, Darryl must catch a jack or an 8.
Is there justice for Doyle Brunson? We will see.
Well, a deuce comes off. Doyle Brunson taking down that pot. There you see his wife, Louise. He's been married 44 years, man.
Talk about going all in.
Nice hand, Mr. Brunson.
Doyle Brunson is a member of the Poker Hall of Fame, and you saw him win the hand with an Ace King. But the hand you will hardly ever see him play is Ace Queen, which was named after him when he wrote in his book Super System that he never plays this hand, but Vince, don't buy it, he does play it.
Well, Doyle doesn't like to play the Ace Queen because he knows more people go out on that hand than any other hand. Now, statistically, it's really only a third-tier hand. Actually, Daniel Negreanu calls it the 1.4 for the amount of millions of times he has lost with that hand.
Well, we're down to 5 players, and when we return, let's find out whose luck is about to run out when WPT's Greatest Tales from the Felt continue. Welcome back to the WPT's Greatest Tales from the Felt, where we're looking back at some legendary final tables. This week, we're watching Season 4 in the 5-Diamond World Poker Classic from Bellagio in Las Vegas.
Okay, you just saw the Unabomber, Phil Locke, become the first eliminated. Now, Patrick Antonius, who started out in the short stack, is the new chip leader. Let's head back to Vegas and hit the felt.
Our current chip leader is the phenom from Finland, Patrick Antonius, with about 5.6 million in chips. In second place, J.J. Lew with about 4.5 million. And in third place, the living legend himself, Doyle Brunson, with about 2.8 million.
All right, it's going to be on our chip leader. He quickly goes out. Renee out. Now J.J. Lew looks at Big Slick.
Well, a monster hand here. She picks up Ace King. She's going to raise it. Makes it $250,000 to go.
Right into Doyle Brunson. And Doyle's got a big hand, too. Pair of jacks wired up.
Well, he's on a little roll right now, too. This is a nice hand. Let's see how he's going to play the 2 jacks.
Right.
He says he's going to raise.
It looks like a $750,000 raise here. Makes it $1 million straight.
And the next man to act is Daryl Dickens, and he's got a pair of 9s.
That's a pretty good hand, too, but the pot's been raised and re-raised, and he wisely lays the 2 9s down.
Back around to JJ. She says all in.
Without hesitation, she goes all in.
Oh, man.
We can see because of the WPT cam that Doyle is out in front here with the 2 jacks, but when you've re-raised and made $1 million to go, and she quickly goes all in over the top, what does that do? You got to take a step back and say, whoa, you're fearful that she has the aces, kings, or queens. One of the 3 hands that have you beat.
Oh, it's already invested over $1 million, though.
She turned her hand straight up. Doyle would beat her in the pot, even though it's a race situation because of the pot odds he's getting. And they're tremendous pot odds, Vince. Doyle's got about 1.7 million left. Yet right now there's about 2.7 million in the pot.
Well, I'll tell you something. J.J. Lew looking very scary with those trick-or-treat glasses on. What an over-the-top raise. She could bust out Doyle Brunson right now. Doyle saying to himself, what did I get myself into?
This is going to be a tough laydown to make.
But
But he
gonna
is
do
making
that.
it. Wow. We can see that mathematically, because of the pot odds, that was the wrong decision by Doyle to make. But it just shows you that great players can make big laydowns.
Oh, man, the cowboy just falling off the horse there a little bit. J.J. Lou, the woman, is not afraid of the boys here tonight, that's for sure.
Vince, as you know, a lot of poker players have the mindset of athletes.
Right, but one player once put it, he said, you know what, poker is the only so-called sport where an athlete can actually eat while playing his game, right?
Well, that may be true. But what many of them may not know is that what they eat can affect their game.
That is true, and that is why Courtney Friel is here. She's going to serve up some food for thought in this week's WPT Academy.
Poker players try to cover all the angles of the game, but many don't realize that the choices they make at the dinner table could determine whether they make the final table. So what do poker players like to eat?
Noodles. What kind of noodles?
Vegetables and rice?
Hummus and carrots. As long as it's got sauce and meat in it, I'm eating it.
Okay, now what should they eat?
Want foods that contain a mixture of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Things like sandwiches or trail mix provide a nice slow and steady absorption and then release of fuel to the body. When that blood sugar drops below normal, it can actually impair concentration and cause some irritability.
I got the nuts, man.
Nutrition bars can actually be a wonderful snack.
I like to eat healthy bars, nutritional bars, something that's good for you.
They don't leave you feeling full and actually sluggish like a large meal would.
Took me years to figure that out, but I always noticed I got broke after the dinner break a lot.
So if you want to play smart, remember to eat smart.
All you can eat, baby. Well, I don't know about you, Mike, but that just whet my appetite. I'm getting hungry again. All right, back down on the table. First one to act, young man from Iowa, Daryl Dickin. He has ace-4.
He comes in for $250,000.
Very early position. Patrick considering this with king-9 offsuit. And he says, no, not this time. I'm going to go out, let you breathe a little bit. Renee going out. Now J.J. Lou with queen-8. Wants no part of it.
So we're round to the big blind. Doyle Brunson peeks down at a 10-8. Remember, he's got $80,000 in the pot. Cost him another $170,000 to call. But he's staring over at Daryl. Wondering if he comes over the top, he can take the pot away from him here. Of course, you see a little steam coming out from Doyle under that cowboy hat for laying down the 2 jacks in the previous pot.
A little bit of anger. You can just feel it.
Right now, Daryl Dickin getting the Dickens scared out of him by Doyle Brunson.
He is going to stick around with a call.
Well, Doyle does make the call. So Doyle has the 10-8. Daryl has the ace-4. The flop comes 7-6-3. Both players have flopped a gut shot straight draw. Action is on Doyle Brunson.
He looks like he's been hit by the old stun gun.
Of course, he only has 10 high. Well, he's
yeah.
going to go all in here. He is going to put the pressure right on the youngster. And Daryl can't stand the heat. He gets out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, Doyle Brunson says, you know, I'm going to get my $1 million back one way or the other around here. Somebody is going to pay.
And the blinds and antes are going up. $15,000 antes, with the blinds being 60 and 120 grand.
And Daryl Dickin on the short stack. Everyone but the lady has been on the short stack at this final table. All the guys sitting there at one time or another have been on the short stack at this final table.
That is pretty amazing, but action's going to be on our man Daryl Dickin from Iowa this time.
All in.
Up here, 4 says he's going all in. And right behind him, Patrick Antonius, chip leader, has ace-jack.
He's also got 3 players sitting behind him, yet to act on their hand.
How much is that?
Patrick says, how much is it?
Maybe about
Man, this could be a questionable call here.
Well, he can afford to make the call, Vince. That's one thing he has going for him.
Yeah, you're right.
He's got over 7.1 million in chips, but still, do you want to gamble here for 1.3 million of
Now
it?
look at to the left of Patrick. Notice this. Look at Renee with his hand on the cards. You know this man is going to fold. You know he's not an actor by now. A little lesson there. Know your guys. You know this man is going to go out. But that's a tell. Let's see what Patrick does first here.
a little over 12.
He is seriously thinking about this, it appears.
I call.
He's making the call, Vince.
Yes, he has.
Well, this is a daring call here by Patrick.
Renee out with Queen 9. JJ out. Now Doyle Brunson with King 7. Can't figure he can call with this. No, he does not.
So we have the race situation, the 2 over cards versus the pair.
I'm not dominated.
Ace Jack for Patrick.
My turn.
2 4s for Daryl.
How is it your turn?
And Daryl Dickin
I use my luck till later.
from Waterloo, Iowa must win this pot to stay alive.
Good luck, Patrick. Good luck.
Now the chip lead is going to try to knock this guy out, make him our 5th place finisher.
Here we go. Here comes a flop. Oh, not a good start for him.
Patrick has spiked the pair of jacks right off the bat.
Well, so far his call looks brilliant, Vince. He hasn't made a missed move yet today at this final table. Daryl Dickin must catch a 4 in the turn of the river, or he's going to be our 5th place finisher.
Oh, he needs to suck out now with the next couple of cards. He's not going to do it on the turn card. It's a 6 of spades.
We are down to the river.
Daryl in very grave condition right now.
Daryl has 2 outs, as we say. 2 cards in the deck that he can catch to win this pot.
Got in this tournament through a satellite. Needs a miracle.
And an 8 comes up at the river.
He did not do it.
Destiny was just not on his side to stay alive there. All 4 players at the table would have beat Daryl had they played that pot.
Well, he is a fine sport. He's going to be picking up $241,000. Daryl Dickin, dead man walking.
The good news is for him, he only has to walk up back to his room, Vince. This is where he's staying. Nice week for Daryl Dickin.
Well, we are down to 4 players. What drama unfolding here tonight?
Well, you talk about perfect timing by Patrick Antonius. Vince, every play he's made tonight has worked out well for him. He is on a roll. He is the monster chip leader now with over $8.7 million in chips, more than $5 million more than the second place person, which is JJ Lou.
No, it's like he's a clairvoyant. He's in total groove. Nicely done. Action back on Doyle. He quickly folds. And now the man from Finland, Patrick Antonius, with just a 4 deuce.
Every single thing he's done today has turned to gold.
Oh, I gotta love this. He's going up to 300,000.
You can tell he's feeling his oats, folks.
Renee quickly going out. Now over to JJ, and she's got a pretty good hand. Ace Jack.
Well, it's the same hand that she just saw Patrick win a big pot with. See how she's going to play it. JJ is making the call.
She makes that reluctant call.
Well, I think she was considering coming over the top, Vince, not throwing the hand away.
That could very well be. 2-way action. JJ with the ace jack. Patrick with the absolute baloney. 4 deuce.
Here comes the flop. The flop is ace 7-6. So JJ has flopped the 2 aces and checks. She's going to throw him a little rope here. So far, every time someone's checked it, Patrick, he's bet. But this time, he checks.
Well, he has respect for the lady at the table.
What timing he's got, though.
There's a 3 on the turn.
And now this gives Patrick a gut shot straight draw. But still, he's got the very worst hand possible at this moment. And JJ leads out and bets 300,000.
And a quick call by Patrick.
Well, I'm surprised at that call, Vince. He can only win with a gut shot 5, other than a bet, of course. He could take it away from her, but...
Well, that was the quickest call. He does not get his card. It's a 9 of diamonds on the end.
Well, JJ's going to check, just in case he was trapping her. She didn't want to fall into a big trap here. And we know the only way Patrick can win this pot is to bet at it, because he has absolutely nothing.
Look at him. Well, looks like he's getting some chips.
Well, there's 1.3 million in the pot. He's taking a stab at it. He's betting $1 million here. So he is going to put JJ to the test, but can't imagine she's going to throw this hand away.
Well, he raised before the flop. He checked after the flop. Called on the turn, and now he's coming out with $1 million.
She's got to be thinking the only way she can be beat here is if he was trapping with a real big hand. Possibly made 3 9s on the river here. The 3 3s on the turn.
I call.
She makes this call. What a great call.
She's calling with the 2 aces.
Oh, Patrick not wanting to turn that over.
Well, JJ is going to win a nice pot there, over $3.3 million.
The lady showing some game there.
Well, Vince, I would have to say that's the first bobble we've seen Patrick make by calling that $300,000 bet on the turn with a gut shot straight draw. He was forced to bluff at that pot. Unfortunately for him, she made the call, and he lost a big one.
Well, Darryl